the wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Oh, yeah, welcome back to it. It's a Saturday night delight because we were not on this afternoon, and we apologize for that, but here we are. Welcome to it. It is Ramblers Unleashed. What's up? I'm Dizzy, and let's get into the intros because, as we all know, we are missing one in action, and that would be Max Magus. He's on assignment, guys. He's doing a deep dive into the people complaining about blood on WWE TV. What makes them tick? What's in their psyche? What makes them not like that, right? And what makes them not like us? More to come on that, we hope. Let me introduce next up a man that is higher than the tallest skyscraper, where Superman couldn't even touch him because the altitude that he's on doesn't even register on the planet Krypton. A man who has the most remarkable wrestling knowledge of any podcast in the modern era, and we love him for it, ladies and gentlemen. The real final boss. He is the Baron. Golfer clap.
Whoa. I don't even know where I'm at. Where am I at? I'm in a different atmosphere right now, you know.
You're in a different cosmos, dude.
Dude, you kill it every time with my intro. You just get me pumped up. Remind me that I'm in a totally different planet than anybody else, and I am the final boss. Apparently, I love it.
Yes, you are the real final boss. Yes. How are you, Baron? How you doing? Good, man.
Good, dude. The weather here has been nice, man. Everything's good with everybody, so I can't complain at all. And it's the weekend, honestly. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's Saturday, the Saturday night delight tonight.
Yes,
indeed,
sir. Yeah, and that brings me back to the final introduction. The man who not only keeps this ship afloat, but keeps our sanity in check. And for that, we salute you, sir. For without him and his missus, who gives us his time, wisdom, and technological majesty, I would lose my ever-loving mind doing everything that he does so effortlessly. The host of Smash This Podcast and Total Nonstop Impact with the latest TNA reviews on YouTube over any other podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the great and infamous and wonderful J-Bone. Golfers clap.
Thank you.
I don't know where the golfer clap came from, but, you know.
I don't know, but I enjoy it. I love doing it.
We're just rolling with it, you know.
It reminds me of Charlie. I don't remember what movie it was from, but they were garbage men. It was Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez. They were both
yeah.
What is the name of that movie?
I can't think of it.
But it's an infamous gif. So it's
Well, gentlemen, how the hell are you? Are you doing okay? I mean, we're getting close to Easter. Tomorrow is Easter. Are we ready for it? Did the Easter bunny come and hide any eggs for you guys?
I had eggs for the Easter bunny. Filled with all kinds of goodies.
Hey.
Holy shit.
Bunny's gonna have a hopping time, if you know what I'm saying.
I think the Easter bunny was hiding behind the couch and left what looks like some raisins or something back there. I don't know what the hell he left.
Raisins?
Yeah, you know, looks like little rabbit turds, you know.
Oh, yeah. Don't eat them.
Yeah, I didn't get nothing special. I got rabbit shit.
Yeah, don't eat it because it's definitely not raisins or chocolate, so you don't want that.
Give it a try. It doesn't hurt to try at least once. Just see what's going on and come back to us.
Right?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. We'll put you on assignment, J-Bone.
Don't eat the black jelly beans.
The schnozberries don't taste like schnozberries.
Schnozberries.
So before the show, we did a 10-bell salute. That is for a gentleman who was very close to us here before we became Ramblers Unleashed. We were rambling about wrestling, and when we started the podcast, we covered a lot of, we wanted to cover a lot of indie promotions. And one of those promotions was a promotion out of the Metro East in Illinois. And that was Wrestling Invades Alton, later became Wrestling Invades America. Now it's known as Pro Wrestling Epic. And the man who we lost, Will Chambers, Dark Side, as his fans know him, is the brother of the landlord, and he sadly passed away this past week. So he, we wanted to pay homage, as we always we do it with every wrestler who passes away. We wanted to pay homage because that promotion really helped us fuel our love for wrestling, and Dark Side helped us, not only practice our craft a little bit better, but we got to see some really outstanding athletes in WIA, and Dark Side was one of those athletes who was just absolutely, every time we saw him in the ring, he was just phenomenal. The Baron was there, Bubba, when he was on the show, we went there, and it was just a lot of fun, so rest in peace to Will Chambers, and prayers for his family who are going to celebrate Easter one chair less this year. And you are in our thoughts, you're in our prayers. We love you. If there's anything that you ever need or want, let us know, reach out, and we're there for you guys. So rest in peace to Will Chambers, Dark Side from Pro Wrestling Epic. We will certainly miss you. And that kind of hit hard. That kind of hit home because as soon as I heard of his passing, I've been thinking about all those guys that we talked to, not only Will, but Ken Rock, the landlord from Wrestling Invades Alton or Wrestling Invades America. And
we had a few of those guys on, didn't we?
Yeah, Tyler Copeland, and a lot of us are still friends with those guys. So we have to remember that wrestlers, even though we know that wrestlers are here to entertain us, they're still people. They're still people. They have lives, and they are, they're not superhuman. So we have to remember that. So
yeah.
Definitely rest in peace to Will Chambers, and the family is in our thoughts and prayers as we get close to Easter, so we have a lot of news to dive into on this show, and a lot of people have been complaining about the segment on Raw, the last segment on Raw this past Monday with Cody Rhodes and The Rock. And I thought it was just so damn good. I was glued to my seat more than I've ever been on when it comes to WWE programming. I was absolutely glued to my seat. The carnage, the attack, the brutality of The Rock to Cody Rhodes is just, it's magnificent, man. This is building up to be one hell of a WrestleMania, and I am so looking forward to it. Your reaction, guys, on the attack from Cody Rhodes by The Rock.
Go ahead.
I mean, obviously, like we've been saying it week to week, like The Rock has elevated the entire show. In my personal opinion, obviously, I feel like he's elevated the show to a different level that we haven't seen in forever. And obviously, this closing segment was, great. Whether it was, Rock took this upon himself to do, who knows? We really don't know. I don't think. But man, he's killed it. He's been killing it.
Yeah. Yeah, J-Bone, did you watch the segment? Did you see the attack? What was your initial thought, man?
Oh, I loved it. The initial him coming to the ring. Number one, man, he just the crowd can't help but cheer him when he first comes out, because the guy always looks like $1 million, and it's great to have him back in the WWE. But then it's also fun to boo him too, and they get to their boos eventually. So there was that initial meeting in the ring, and no one could figure out what he whispered to Cody. That was like the big mystery. That was, well, what did he say? Because it looked like he said like 3 words, like, tonight, you're mine, bitch, or something. I don't know. And we were just, what did he say? What did he say?
Right.
So I saw like 3 different confirmations, and it was because I don't think anything was really confirmed, unless The Rock came out and said it himself. But I saw like 3 confirmations of what was said. The one that I saw was, tonight you're gonna bleed, or something to that effect. Tonight you'll bleed. Because it was short but sweet. It wasn't like people were like, oh yeah, he said like 10 words. No, he said like 3 words.
You mean you're talking about when you're talking about when he was in the ring with Cody, and the comment that was not heard? Okay, yeah.
Yes.
That was on everybody's mind. They didn't know what he said. I messaged you guys, and I'm like, what the hell did The Rock say to Cody? I got to find out, And of course, they didn't, nobody ever said when they went backstage to interview, nobody, The Rock said, go ask Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes said, I don't want to repeat it. So it's like, well, what the hell? I want to know what he said. Well, yeah. I think we all nobody wants to know. So
right. And Cody was like, well, he said he replied with something to the effect of, it's something that he's not going to be able to complete by the end of the night, or something to that effect. He's not going to be able to do. And it was like, okay. So it was just awkward. It was awkward, and it was a big mystery. And then when it came to the end of the night, when he came out of nowhere and just started beating the ever-loving snot out of him, which I was like, oh, finally. Finally.
And it was backstage too, which was even better, honestly, because I have not seen a backstage segment on WWE TV in so long. And I think the element of them taking it outside, and it's raining in Chicago, and that taking it out into that element was just really brilliant on The Rock's part.
Yeah, no, it was great. But the big question that I have after all of this, like, because we have repeated it on this podcast quite a few times, and like, we know kind of what's going to happen at Mania. At least we think we do. We could always be thrown into a different loop. That's just how Mania is. But like, this attack, so like, if The Rock is going to turn on Roman, like we think is going to happen, what was this beatdown? You know what I'm saying? Was this a stage beatdown? Was it a mutual, like, did they work together on this? It kind of threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
Well, everyone thought initially that The Rock was going to turn on Roman, but I don't think I think there's too many other things that happened in that last segment that gave a foreshadowing to what's going to happen at Mania. And that is, they kept showing the trip. Well, number one, they were next to Cody's rider. And that's what he kept throwing Cody into. That's his rider. That's his bus. That he travels all around the world in. So, or the country at least, excuse me. But they kept showing, because there was those where the trailers are in the back there. They kept showing that. Yeah. They kept showing one trailer that was, I think, purposely lit up, and it had 2 faces on it. And a lot of people probably didn't even think about it, because they were paying attention to what was there was The Rock and Cody were taking up, this much of the screen, and a little bit in the background was the trailer with the 2 faces on it.
And what were those 2? Yeah.
and Stone Cold.
Yep.
John
There's
Cena,
a lot.
Stone Cold.
There is a rumor that those two they are going to be at that they're going to be at WrestleMania. So we'll just have to see. I don't know. I know that WrestleMania is going to be a massive, massive event. And I've been excited for this. I mean, we're on the road to WrestleMania. It's going to be just really, really cool to finally see this. And this is our first WrestleMania without Vince McMahon. And that is going to be freaking awesome. Yeah. Freaking, I am stoked. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am to see an era without Vince McMahon going into WrestleMania. This is going to be, because I mean, it's no holds barred now, and we're in a new era, and we're definitely gearing up for the Netflix run. So this is going to be really, really, really exciting to see what the WWE is going to pull out of their back pocket for WrestleMania. I'm beyond ready. Let's go. Let's freaking go. I may even buy a pizza, buy some beer, lock the door, and just watch TV. Just stay glued to my TV both nights. Honestly,
you wild man, you.
I know. I'm a party animal. But let's dive into some of the stories that we have on tap for you tonight, including the first story. It's pretty big. As we all know, Cody Rhodes is one of the biggest baby faces in the company right now. And it is more or less a given that he is going to stick with the company for many, many years. And now it's confirmed that that Rhodes revealed he has inked a multi-year deal with WWE. So that's really, really good for Cody. And that's really good for the company too. Because, Cody, he has his dad's mind. And he is just so smart in this business, and I love Cody in WWE. I loved him in AEW because he helped AEW get to where they are right now. And I'm just really, really excited to see where Cody's going to take this, man.
Yeah. I loved his business hat when he was in AEW, but I love the fact that he's just a wrestler now,
Yeah.
He can
even
focus,
said that
he can focus on himself. And
he even said, and Daniel Bryan has said this too, or Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him. He said this too, that he is on a committee in AEW. It's a, what is it, like not the punishment committee, but the behavior committee or whatever, where if a wrestler does something that is not suited for AEW or that goes against the guidelines or the standards or whatever, they put forth the punishment. And I think Cody was on that.
Kind of like a HR.
Yeah, kind of, but it's like wrestler's court, what the Undertaker did in WWF with wrestler's court, where they would hold a hearing with their peers, and pass down judgment or sentence, So I don't think Cody was geared up for that. I think he just, like you said, J-Bon, I think he just wanted to go out and wrestle. Baron, what do you think about Cody signing, possibly inking up a multi-year contract with the WWE, man?
Oh, I love it. It's great. I'm curious on how much, that deal was. I like numbers and how much. So if anybody knows, please tell us. But the dude deserves it. I mean, you've seen what has happened when he returned to WWE. He's top sales for merchandise. I mean, and he's made the show overall better. We were dying for that baby face. We always have a baby face. Like Daniel Bryan was a baby face, but I feel like he brings a different level of that, and that's what WWE needs. So good for him, man. I hope he's cashing out. But it's funny because he did say he would retire at 40. I do remember that, and I think he's going to be well over 40 after this contract expires.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think that's smart. I think he's definitely thinking about his mind, his body, and his soul, and where he wants to go. And I think maybe, you know, if he wants to, he could definitely do something else in WWE that doesn't have to do with wrestling. You know, maybe he could be a trainer, maybe he could do something still with the company, but not be on the road as much as he is, and not, you know, have to put in the hours that he's already. I mean, he's already paid his dues. So
he's about to be putting in some hours though. If after Mania he's going to be the face, he's gonna. So I'm sure he got a pretty good paycheck. So good for him though.
Sure too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure too. You know, we talked about the attack from The Rock and Cody Rhodes, and you would think most people would believe that The Rock is the most hated man in WWE, but not so much with Dutch Mantel. While speaking on Story Time with Dutch Mantel, the former WWE manager noted that The Rock brutally attacking Cody Rhodes, and I kind of see where he's going with this. The Rock brutally attacking Cody Rhodes, Dutch Mantel says, made Rhodes the most hated man in the WWE locker room, as no one came out to help him whatsoever. And I kind of see where he's going with this. Because, and I'll tell you why, and I know J-Bone has something to say about it too. I'll tell you why, because this is Cody's story. Who's going to come out and help? You know, where was Seth? Where was Jay? That's a good question. But this is Cody's story, you know, and right now they're telling the story, and you know, is he the most hated man in the locker room? Maybe not. Maybe not, but is he responsible for his own story? Do you think he wanted any? I mean, if anybody in the locker room wanted to come out and help him, do you think he would have wanted it that way? You know, that's the conclusion that I've come to regarding what Dutch Mantel has said. But J-Bone, you have another point of view, if you will. So please go ahead, man.
Well, first of all, before I pick that apart, that just the whole, okay, who's ready for story time with Dutch Mantel? It just ain't sexy, man. It just, you know, it's just, I'm sorry, just leave that one for Adam Cole, because only Adam Cole can do that one, and it sounds like $1 million, and he's sexy, and he can pull that off. Anyways, besides that point, it's like, shut up, Dutch. God damn.
Yeah, I kept going like this. I'm like, hey, he's drinking or something, because I don't know what the hell he's going on.
But that's a Jack Daniels talking, I'm sure.
Yeah, it has to be.
But so what? Let's pick it apart, Jason.
I understand the concept of being hated if no one's coming to your aid.
Yeah.
But if no one's coming to your aid, it doesn't mean you're hated. All it is doing is fueling the fact that Seth didn't help him. So it's going to keep throwing that little question mark back and forth. Why didn't Cody help Seth? Why didn't Seth help Cody? And it's all going to lead to night one.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it'll kind of, I don't know how it's going to, because when night one is over, Seth is out of the picture. He's got his own stuff to worry about with Drew. Okay. So
right.
he's going to have his own stuff, and CM Punk, after night one, he's done with this. He's there to help Cody, and that's it.
Right.
or turn on him. You know, a lot of people still think he's like, nope, he's done. Uh, but then that just leaves night 2 open for bloodline rules, which means anything can go, which means anybody can show up and help either team, which is just going to be a hodgepodge of craziness. I can't wait. You're going to hear so many different entrance musics coming down during that main event that everyone's head's going to be freaking just spinning.
Right. Oh,
yeah. But yeah, I understand why he's saying that, but that's really pushing the extreme on that point of view. I don't feel like Cody's hated. It's just the point is you're supposed to look at that like, well, yeah, why didn't someone come to help him? But obviously, not everybody and their uncle is going to come help him. It's going to be significant people from the storyline.
Right.
So,
and we've historically seen this. We've seen two of the biggest names in the company going head to head. Let's take The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, for example. When they had their battles, many battles, nobody in the locker room ever came out to help either one of those guys, unless it was involved. They were involved in the storyline somehow. But if you're involved,
or security, you know,
exactly right, yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, but we've seen this historically, Baron, and we know that that's not going to happen. So I want to know where your thought is, where Dutch Mantel is saying that Cody Rhodes is the most hated man in the WWE locker room. Do you agree with that? Do you think he's drinking?
I think he's sipping on something real good.
Yeah.
And I would like a sip too. He might be, he might be doing something else, but like, I actually don't see his point at all with the commenter. Like, the segment wasn't even like long enough for someone to run in to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Like it.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't really make any sense. I don't think he's the most hated. I don't think it's anything to read into. You know, I kind of get his point though, but not everybody has to have someone come save him. It's going to make Cody look weaker, take the beat down, be done with it. Yeah. But I think he's been drinking. I think he's been sipping something.
Even if you have Seth Rollins and Jey Uso in the storyline, they're getting beat up by, Solo and Jimmy. So those guys are dealing with those two, and then Cody Rhodes is dealing with The Rock. And this, you're right, Baron. It's gonna make, if anybody came to Cody's defense against The Rock, it would make Cody look so freaking weak.
Yeah, this is the ultimate baby face.
Completely kill momentum.
Oh, 100%, man. This is the ultimate baby face route. Like this is the way you want to go. I don't think it makes anybody look weak by any means, man. And I'm enjoying it, and I'm gonna enjoy it even more when he does win.
Right. Yeah. And what I mean by weak is, anybody else not involved in the storyline coming to Cody's defense to save him, if you will. So, Dutch, I don't know what you're drinking, bud, but I think you want to share that with the rest of us so that we can maybe get on the same page, because I don't know what you're talking about, dude. And you put it was a weird spin. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but it was a weird spin, man. It really was. Because when I found the story, I literally thought that it said The Rock was the most hated man, and I'm like, oh, I totally agree. And then I saw Rhodes, and I'm like, what the fuck? Huh?
Right, you had to read it back 3 times to figure out what the hell it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know. It is building up. That attack, Bill, was really, really well thought out by the storyline team on WWE. I wouldn't be shocked if Cody and The Rock had plans on that too. If they had their fingers on the page or the pen in their hand to write that. But it was really good, and it's building up to be one of the most epic matches in WrestleMania history. You know, when Triple H said, "Hey, you know what? We're going to change the history of this company. This is a new era. This really is a new era." And we saw that. We saw that last night, or we saw that on Monday night, and it's going to be really good. SmackDown was Friday night, and apparently Jade Cargill made her first official appearance as put the, and you know, she apparently put the whole roster on notice pretty quickly. Now I missed SmackDown, so who caught that? Oh, J-Bone did. Okay, so J-Bone, tell us what happened with Jade Cargill on SmackDown.
Well, first of all, she put pen to paper right in front of the audience because Nick Aldis was out there with her.
Okay, so she signed a contract.
She signed the official SmackDown contract. So that was great.
Sweet.
That was awesome. that put the you know, the period at the end of the sentence, like, I am here now. You don't have to worry about where I'm going to show up. I am here.
Yeah.
And she said, first of all, there is no other women's roster out there like we have backstage, which brought a lot of applause. Like, yeah, all right, that's nice. Mm-hmm. And then she followed it up with, but they ain't me. And it's like, oh. But so yeah, she kept it short and sweet when she was first out there, but damn, she looks like $1 million. They really, you know, they present her as a freaking star, which is great, you know. And then she showed up later in the show when I'm trying to think, it was Bianca Belair was having a match with
Naomi.
No.
Well,
no, Naomi came.
No, she was having a match with
It was Io Sky.
Was it Io Sky? Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
Io
Sky. Well, I'm seeing it here as following the promo. Cargill also helped Bianca Belair and Naomi even the odds against Damage Control, while Cargill already got fans rallying behind her. One of the highlights, apparently, from her debut on the blue brand was her entrance. So I did not see the entrance. So what was the entrance all about?
Well, the entrance was, like, you could say that was from like the first segment when she came out there and she signed the contract and gave her a little promo. But her entrance when she came out there the second time was even a little more interesting, because when anybody's like, oh, so-and-so needs help, what do? They run down to the ring. She did not run down to the ring. She came out and she took her sweet ass time coming down to the ring. But when she got in the ring, she kicked. I think it was Kari Sane went after her first. Damn near kicked her head off. It was like, and it was like, oh, they kicked her across the ring. Just.
So she was definitely playing with the audience to say, what do you think I am? Do you think I'm a good guy? Do you think I'm a bad guy? What do you think I am? Whose side am I going to take?
That too. Yeah. So in all, she helped even the odds, and then basically ended up with Naomi. I still want to call her Trinity from her time in TNA. Sorry. With Naomi and Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill in the middle, and all three of them pointed at the WrestleMania sign. So that means we're getting those three versus Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kari Sane. So that's going to be a great way to get more women on the WrestleMania roster. It's like, even if it is a tag match, that is a loaded 3-on-3. I love it.
Yeah, that is really, really good. I'm like I said, man, Mania is going to be, this year is going to be so exciting. It's going to be so fresh. I really think we're going to see a refreshed WrestleMania, one that we've never seen before, and I'm here for it. I know you guys are here for it. I think everybody listening to the show is here for it. If you're excited about it, man, put it in the comments. Leave us your thoughts, your feedback. Let us know what you think. You watching night one? You watching night two? You watching both nights? Let us know. We love to hear from you. So before the show, we go down the list of stories that we find, and I wanted to throw this into the mix too, because it involves our favorite person, Tony Khan, and it also involves Eric Bischoff, and these two are going head to head with each other. Tweet that he put out, because Eric Bischoff did like a whole hour-long show on his own podcast about Tony Khan and the AEW ratings, and I just found this to be so comical, because Eric has a mind for this business. Tony Khan, we all know, he's rich, he's got money behind him, and he wanted his own company for wrestling so that he can go head to head with, Vince and WWE. And Eric Bischoff really just gives it to Tony, and it's so funny to listen to Eric just destroy Tony Khan. And I'm looking for this damn tweet from Tony Khan. Here's one. Tony signed up for his own slaughter. Eric was the wrong one to call out Tony. By 1997, Eric had done 100 times of what Tony Khan has done, and he did it in half the time. So there's a lot of people that are for Eric Bischoff when it comes to, Tony Khan and Eric Bischoff. But if you want to go check out Eric Bischoff's podcast, I definitely recommend it. And I can't find this damn tweet. I don't know where it is.
Well, there's a lot of people out there that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, he pointed out the fact of Dynamite. Dynamite was in, I believe, Canada. And as we all know, historically, Canada is one of the biggest draws to professional wrestling by far. Everybody in Canada, almost everybody in Canada loves professional wrestling. And they were in I believe it was the capacity was an 18,000 person stadium.
Oh,
they only had, from what I understand, 3,400 tickets sold or something to that matter. So what is going on with AEW that what's going on that they can't sell tickets, because you had a really good card. I mean, Will Ospreay was the first match. That was a blockbuster match. I mean, the whole show was pretty good. And it just kind of sucks that, according to reports, only 3,400 tickets, 34 some odd, only over 3,000 tickets were sold for this event. That's got to be a blow to Tony's ego, and it's got to be a blow for the company too. So what's going on? Why can't AEW keep up with the demand? Are we just seeing too much of stuff on AEW TV because it feels like night after night after night after night they give us blood. You know, we get these bloody, gory matches, and I really feel like I'm watching ECW all over again. You know, no, because we get all these damn bloody, gory matches, and I love the violence, I really do, but I think I'm starting to think that AEW is going way too far with the violence and things of that nature, because you're going to run into problems with these with your performers not being able to do the spots because they can't, you know, physically they can't do the spots that you want them to do. And some of these spots have just been fucking nuts. I take Darby Allin and Sting versus the EVPs, you know, the Young Bucks. That spot where Darby Allin landed on the glass on the outside of the ring and just laid there.
Yeah.
Just
well, that was unnecessary, but it's also
super.
I mean, like, this is how you try to bring people to your show doing Daredevil stuff like that. And I mean, like, I get it. As long as they're doing it safe. But like the big thing with for me, the attendance, a lot of fans like to rip apart the attendance and the ratings for both shows. That's just how it goes. You know, AEW versus WWE type thing. You know, like, obviously that's not great numbers, but you are out with, I mean, J-Bone could probably speak on how many big names are out in AEW, because I can't name them all, but Kenny Omega and Maxwell. I mean, we have some big names that are out right now. So you don't have any marquee draw currently, in my mind. And that's one thing that's kind of, I don't watch a full AEW. I mean, I still watch it, but just not as an invested. And I think that's hurting them a little bit. But I don't think AEW is focused on that. They're just trying to go out there and put on a show. They're still good numbers, man. They're still number 2 wrestling show,
and they have a crap ton of really good talent. It's just, they're going through a phase now where they are featuring some new talent. And people know who Sasha Banks, Monet is. They know. Yeah. She hasn't wrestled yet. She's just showing up. So that's been kind of a well, because people have been waiting for her for so long. Now it's like they're wondering if it's, some of the shine is worn off, because it's like, well, she's been part of the company for forever. I think some people are like, oh, why didn't you just debut her like 6 months ago?
Yeah. I mean, we had this massive buildup for Mercedes Moné. Is she coming? Is she not? Is she coming? Is she going to WWE? Is she going to AEW? Where the hell is she going? So I think people just got tired of hearing about, where the hell is Mercedes Moné going to end up? And I think I think you're right. I think the shine is starting to wear off.
I will give Tony a lot of credit. He was able to bring in guys like Okada and Will Ospreay, and some of the newer women talent you might be seeing, like Deonna Purrazzo.
Yes.
Here's the thing. A lot of those fans are, there's casual fans in every thing that you see out there. TNA's got casual fans. WWE's got casual fans. AEW's got casual fans. Hell, NWA's got casual fans. Mm-hmm. But there's a core of fans that don't know who a lot of these new people are. And here's the thing. You can't just throw them out there and in what some of us consider dream matches, like Shibata versus Will Ospreay. A lot of us look at that and say, holy shit, that's fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. But you have to know the history of Shibata. you have to know the history of Will Ospreay. You have to know how good these wrestlers are to give a shit. You have to, sometimes you got to go that extra mile and promote that certain match that's coming up a week away, 2 weeks away, whatever. You got to give the fans a reason to give a damn, period. You know what I mean?
You do.
And I think, and that's the thing, is a lot of these fans are like, well, who are these new people? Why should we care? That's what he's got to do. He's got to go that extra mile with some of these, do some in-depth interviews. Where did they come from?
Yeah.
What are they about? Why, like, I'll go back to it. Why should we care? So I think that's a lot of it. Is Tony's going through a phase of, you're introducing all these new people, and a lot of fans just haven't latched onto it yet. Trust me, a year from now, Deonna Purrazzo, Okada, Will Ospreay, they're all going to be household names, because they're not quite yet.
Right.
Like, I know how good Ospreay is. I know how good Deonna Purrazzo is. I watched her the last several years in Impact TNA. So I know how she is one of the best wrestlers on the planet for women, or just in general. And it's her match with Madison Rayne did her absolutely no favors, because Madison Rayne acted like she didn't know how to freaking wrestle out there, sadly. So that didn't help anything in AEW. But yeah, it's going to take time. It's not like when he first brought everyone to TV and you had, everything was fresh and exciting. You had Kenny Omega, you had the Young Bucks, you had Darby Allin, Cody Rhodes was starting a whole new journey. You had all these fresh faces. And so, yeah, it's 5 years later. It's hard to believe, but it's 5 years later. So, yeah, so you got to freshen things up, and you got to make the fans care again.
Yeah. No, he for sure nailed it on that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's for guys like us, and I want everybody to understand this, that's listening to the show. Guys like us, we're professional wrestling nerds. We follow every single promotion that we can, and it's hard to follow along with Ring of Honor. It's hard to follow along with New Japan. It's hard to follow along with sometimes TNA, unless you have the channels, or where these promotions are going to air. So, we understand that wrestlers flip-flop around they float from promotion to promotion, and the casual wrestling fan, I would say, only focuses on one product, and it's the product that they like. And what is that main product? It's WWE, because it's known, it's recognized, it's a household name. So not everybody is going to be able to follow the storyline of Will Ospreay. Not everybody's going to be able to follow the storyline of what, maybe Deonna Purrazzo did with Mercedes Moné, or anything like that past, because they know Mercedes Moné as Sasha Banks, because they put a face to the name. So even though AEW is doing all these video packages and trying to tell the story of what happened, back in Japan with these two wrestlers, it really, it's hard to follow along. It's really, really hard to understand, what the story's all about. So I totally understand where the frustration or the confusion from fans is coming from as far as that goes. But trust me, if you just do a little bit of digging on these guys, if one of these names rings a bell to you, like, oh, Will Ospreay, Google Will Ospreay, Google him, find out what his story is, because he's got one hell of a story. He's an amazing athlete, and you will find some of the best storytelling in not only inside the ring, but on the mic too, with these guys. And just watch matches, and that's what I would suggest to anybody out there who is the occasional wrestling fan who only focuses on one product. Broaden your horizon, because professional wrestling is not just in WWE. I promise you, there are a lot of great promotions out there that you should be following if you are in fact a wrestling fan. And this is what this show tries to give to you, the occasional wrestling fan, is a different aspect of different promotions. Of course, we're going to talk about WWE because that's a household name, but we're also going to be talking about TNA. We'll also talk about AEW. We'll talk about New Japan. If we know New Japan news, we'll bring it to you. But that is what this show drives to do, and that is what we're trying to succeed within this show, is to bring you the news that maybe you haven't heard, and the news that our opinions on that news. So if you, like I said, if you're an occasional wrestling fan, please click the link to subscribe, click the bell icon, tell your friends about us too. And we try to do this every Saturday afternoon at around 1:00. Of course, things happen. That is where you can tune into our social media pages to stay up to date on when we're going to be live. You can find us on Facebook, Ramblers Unleashed. We're also on X at The Ramblers Pod. And we'll give you all the news that you can handle, and then some. Plus, we'll give our opinions, and you can give us your opinions too. So here's an interesting, before we talk about any WrestleMania stuff, because that is of course that's one of the biggest stories. There was some other news that regarded TNA and WWE. J-Bone, I'm probably sure you heard about this. But Ash by Elegance, she has been making quite the name for her character in TNA. She's fantastic. I love her. And ever since she was released from WWE last year, she's been spending a major tenure with TNA, but failing to live up to WWE, but failing to live up to the expectations. Now, the former Dana Brooke has made her first appearance to the shows. The first show, TNA's rebranding Hard to Kill, back in January, sending immediate shockwaves across the wrestling industry with just one showing. Since then, she's managed to impress the wrestling audience with her newfound opportunity under a completely new gimmick, Ash by Elegance, which also has led to mesmerizing the audience, not only with her in-ring capabilities, but she's really hot too, honestly. Now, recently, Ash by Elegance leveled accusations against current rising star Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time, baby. Claiming that she tends to steal moves and gimmicks from other wrestlers, dubbing her as a, quote, knockoff Barbie. So this is getting interesting. Did you hear about this, J-Bone?
I heard about it, but I didn't give it a lot of weight, just because I try to ignore a lot of this stuff when, you see little cat fights happening on the internet. It's like, that's just not my, unless it's someone I'm like really tuned into. Like, I know nothing about Tiffy. I've heard her out. I've heard about her. I've seen a couple matches of her. But I am much more invested in what the former Dana Brooke, Ash by Elegance, is doing now. As far as details of this, I really didn't read anything, but I just, like I said, I try to stay away from some of this stuff. I try to dig deep and find the news that's actually real news, as far as, so and so's taking time off because they're actually injured. So and so is contracted again, and it's like an official statement on that from the company. stuff like that. It's like, but stuff like this, when this pops up, and I'm not knocking you for bringing it up because I think it's funny shit. But I hadn't really, let them roll around in some mud. They'll get over it.
Yeah. I mean, right now, what it is,
oh, sorry.
Ash by Elegant said that Tiffany steals moves and gimmicks, and now each other, like fans, are going at each other defending either Ash or Tiffany. So it's just,
of course,
it's just interesting to see all this. Do we really care? No. Is it big news? No. But is it funny? Fuck yeah, it's funny.
Oh, I think it's hilarious. But
and
I'm sure there's a fair amount of fans out there that are pissed off that Kevin Owens, of all people, is now doing the stunner, or Stone Cold stunner, if you will.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so he wouldn't be doing it if he didn't have it graciously passed on to it. There's some stuff that you just, some moves you just don't touch because they're so tied to a historical individual. Look at Damian Priest. He does the Razor's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure there was a little thing out there that he talked to Scott Hall, and Scott Hall was like, yeah, go ahead and use it. And I love it when Damian Priest uses it because I love Scott Hall.
Yeah.
So when I see him do that, it's a little blast from the past. It's a little bit of nostalgia, and he does it well. So
right. And I mean, Seth Rollins has the pedigree. He used the pedigree for so long when Vince banned the curb stomps. So he still uses the pedigree from time to time. And yeah, I mean, if these legends gift wrestlers their finishing moves, their signature move, then so be it. I don't really care, but don't go out there and blatantly steal a gimmick. Don't go out there and blatantly steal moves. I mean, if that's like a comedian going to a less known comedian show and stealing jokes and using it at your show for your benefit. That's not your joke, dude. So don't say it. Or if you're going to use that joke, give them credit. Hey, I heard this joke from such and such or so and so. So because that's huge too. Musicians, when musicians steal guitar riffs, or when musicians steal lyrics, it's just like that. So it is what it is. Just don't steal shit. Don't steal things. People work hard in anything you do in any capacity. If it's professional wrestling, then people definitely work hard and they craft their signature moves. And don't be that person that goes out there and steals a signature move or at least a gimmick. For God's sake, don't do that. But that's just me. So I wanted to bring that up to get your thought. Baron, do you have any thoughts about Tiffany and Ash by Elegance going at it?
I love internet drama. I love it. I don't care what it's about. I want to tune in like a soap opera and keep it going. I like it,
especially when it's popcorn and let them go.
Yeah, especially when it's two different brands. Go for it. At this point in juncture, everybody has used the same exact wrestling move on someone in some way or shape or form. Like, there's not a lot of new moves out there. So, like, anybody has a problem stealing moves, it is what it is. Yeah. Gimmicks, who cares? It's just let them go at it on the internet. I'm not sure why they are, but I love reading that shit.
Look what R-Truth does. Right.
That's his whole gimmick. I mean, like, we've had multiple wrestlers' gimmick was stealing those things, and it's entertaining always, but somebody's just probably bitter about something, but it is funny.
Well, probably. Yeah. And again, I just wanted to bring that up just for sake of conversation, but now we can get into the bread and butter of what we're on, and we are on the road to WrestleMania. And for months now, the Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar saga has been entertaining us with all the action, all the drama. However, a match between both men hasn't been able to end their feud. So Dominic Mysterio recently got involved to make sure his daddy ends up on the losing side every time he had a match. On SmackDown, I know. On SmackDown, Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio were confronted by the LWO and Rey Mysterio. The latter issued tag team match challenge against Escobar and Dominic for WrestleMania 40, announcing Dragon Lee to be his partner for the grandest stage of them all. Now, while the challenge really wasn't answered on the Blue brand, WWE made the match official during SmackDown Lowdown, which I've never heard of that. But Kayla Braxton interviewed the Hall of Famer and his tag team partner, and this could be the final stop of action before Rey and Santos end their feud and engage in other rivalries in the future. So the match has been confirmed, and now this card is just getting stacked for WrestleMania 40. With Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee on one side, it's going to be interesting to see if Carlito reacts from being left out for the official card of WrestleMania 40. Do you think there's room for Carlito? Do you think that we could see Carlito maybe turn this into involving Carlito in some way, shape, or form?
I think it's a given that all of them are going to show up in this match. I think that's kind of, the point to get them all on the card. I'm glad, especially with Dom, because Dom is, for the longest time, still is one of the most booed, wrestlers in wrestling. They boo him out of the stadium, and that's great.
Still the biggest
over. Yeah, and I'm glad they're getting him on the card. That's the main thing, because Dom has been killing it, no matter what anybody says. He's young, he's fresh, he's got a lot to learn, obviously. But I'm glad to see that they got the spot on the card.
Yeah. So, thank you, Courtney. Courtney says SmackDown Lowdown is on Peacock. Okay, so that's got to be like a live on Peacock following SmackDown. Okay.
So it's like Raw Talk. Got it.
Yeah.
J-Bone, your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I love the fact that they kept Dom and his dad apart for this long, and that just a week or a couple of weeks before, because I guess he popped up last week. I think it was last week. He showed up. He interfered in the match. He had the mask on. He pulled the mask off, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's Dominic Mysterio." Or for our truth, he's like, "Hey, look, it's Tom and Nick." Jesus Christ. I love truth. But I'm glad this. I've been a fan of LWO for a while. I kind of wish they didn't change things up so fast with Escobar, but that was just to get more people involved, and I'm okay with that. You got Carlito, you got Escobar's buddy, which is Garza, and I can't think of the other guy's name. I can picture him. I can't think of his name because he was gone so long. But anyways, you got all these extra factors in there besides Dragon Lee, Mysterio, Escobar, and Dominic. So is there a place for them? Sure. Are they going to be involved in the match? Maybe. My guess is all the extra factors are going to be on that Andre the Giant Battle Royal. That's where they're going to, anybody who's not involved in Mania that doesn't have a Mania match.
Yeah.
And if you look at the card, there's a lot of multi-man / women matches, which is fine.
Yeah.
But then, put them in the Battle Royal, and it gets them involved somehow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up because the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal will take place on April 5th on an episode of SmackDown. And the following participants are involved in that. Okay. So, Cedric Alexander, Ashante the Adonis. Am I saying that right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Kit Wilson, Elton Prince, Elton Prince, Cameron Grimes, Veer, Sangha, the Creed brothers, Julius and Brutus, Ivar, Akira Tozawa, Otis, JD McDonough, Apollo Crews, Andrade, Ricochet, Chad Gable, Bronson Reed, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Almost. So those are the 20 names that we know so far. Additionally, for next week's show, Kevin Owens will host a famous in-ring segment called the Kevin Owens Show. So that'll be interesting with his special guest, the Viper, Randy Orton, as they are set to compete in a triple threat match against Logan Paul, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So that's going to be good, man. That's going to be good. So the Battle Royal will take place on SmackDown. So that will be the go home show for WrestleMania. So should we run down the card so far, because I know a lot of people have been leaking images. I've seen the dirt sheets and they're leaking images of the stage, and I try to avoid that because I like to be surprised as to what the stage is going to look like on the night of the pay-per-view. So but I do want to run down the card as we know it so far for WrestleMania 40. So here's what we've got. And I don't want to, we're not going to do like reviews or anything like that because it's way too early to do reviews,
like
even though I'm
like solid predictions or just listing it off.
Yeah, like solid predictions or anything like that, or yeah.
Do you have a list or no?
I do have a list, yes. So
okay.
For the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship, it's Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. And the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, it'll be Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. For the Women's World Championship,
Seth freaking Rollins.
I'm sorry, Seth freaking Rollins. For the Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch. The Women's Championship, Io Sky and Bayley, which will be a freaking amazing match.
Oh, both of those are going to be can't miss matches. Period.
Yeah. For the Intercontinental Championship, it's Gunther and Sami Zayn, which is going to be a good match too. They're really building that up. For the United States Championship, it's the triple threat: Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. We have the 6-pack ladder tag team championship match, and that is the Judgment Day versus the Awesome Truth versus DIY versus the New Day versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory versus Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Of course, we have the Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins. I said it right. We have LA Knight and AJ Styles, which I am so excited for.
Oh, that's going to be a dark horse match of the whole night. And I don't care what night they put it on. That's going to be a must see. I can't wait. I love both. And I love both of them, so I really don't care. But man, it's going to be awesome.
And I love heel Styles, man. I love heel AJ Styles.
I think the big news with him at Mania, he's going to get a new song to come out to too, a new entrant.
Who is he?
I've seen a post about that too, which would be awesome.
Well, if the Rock can get new music, damn it, AJ Styles can too. And then we've got brother versus brother, Jay and Jimmy Uso. This is going to be this is going to be this is a highly anticipated match, honestly.
Oh yeah.
As Ross would say, it's going to be a slobber knocker.
It's a slobber freaking knocker. So the Mania card is stacked for 2 nights. Hoping that they add more matches soon.
Well, there's the 2 that they added that we just talked about as well.
Yes.
And that's Damage CTRL versus Naomi, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
And then the Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee versus Dom and Escobar.
Yeah.
So
it's a stacked card. It's gonna be a really fun 2 nights of WrestleMania, and I know all of us here are looking forward to it. If you guys were in Illinois, I'd invite you down and we'd drink beer and eat pizza and watch Mania. But we'll have to talk about it on not only this show, but we'll talk about it in our private chat too. So I just can't believe that it's WrestleMania 40. I cannot believe that we are so damn close for another WrestleMania.
You feeling old yet?
I am.
I remember one. Fuck.
I loved the one where they went to Hollywood the first time. I love the first Hollywood one.
Oh, and they had all like the trailers and stuff.
Yeah,
that
was so much fun. So much.
That was
fun.
like Ruthless Aggression era, approximately. Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah. Baron, what? So let's do some highlights of the WrestleMania matches that we know of right now, and pick our favorite one, because I think everybody here is on the same page. But I want to find out. Baron, we'll start with you, man. What is a highlight match that you are just really looking forward to?
For this current WrestleMania, right? Is that
for this current WrestleMania?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many good matches, but it's got to be. I want to say the tag team match. The Rock, and Roman against Cody and Seth, but I'm gonna have to go with the Rock and Cody. That's obviously going to be the match of the night. The reason why I brought up the tag team was just because of what's going to happen at night 1 with that match. That's going to change everything for night 2. Both of those are going to be awesome. Like, they're definitely the premiere. So let me not pick those 2, and I'll go with like AJ Styles versus LA Knight. I think that would be another good one.
Yeah, I
hope they don't open the show with the match, though. I don't like when the big, it's daylight outside or whatever the case may be, and they put like a big name match on the start of the show. Because it's always kind of like dumbed down to me for a little bit. So hopefully it's like set really good in the mid card.
Because those matches, the first match, I feel like the first match sets the tone for the entire pay-per-view, and I'm with you right there, Baron. I really hope that LA Knight and AJ Styles match is not first. I really hope they don't do it like that. I think Jimmy and Jay either night, that will be a mid-carder. So if anything, look, if they're going to do any match first, I would say it would be the 6-pack ladder tag team championship, because that's just going to be that is just going to be chaos out there. So
now, didn't they do that a few years ago when the Hardys came back to the WWE and they showed up, and it was like the big surprise at the beginning of the night or something like that? It started off night 1 or 2. I forget.
It was it was in the day. It was like the first match or first or second match. But yeah,
that was probably even back before they did 2 nights.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because it's only been a few years since they started doing that.
Yeah, but if that's if they're thinking about a first match, if I was booking a show, that's the first match just to get it out of the way, because it's going to be pure chaos out there. J-Bone, what match are you excited for out of the entire card on WrestleMania? What are you looking forward to?
Well, besides the main event, which everyone's talking about and we're talking about, and everyone's uncle and their dog is talking about, I'm actually looking forward to the United States title match.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I love Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
I love Randy Orton. And damn it, I hate to say it, but I'm becoming a fan of Logan Paul just because the guy's athleticism is like something to behold, and he's always pulling off something that people go, like, there's always a highlight. There's always a highlight reel from him. And it's like, well, what did he do this time? It's like, holy shit. Like, I can't wait to see what he does in this match, because I know it ain't going to suck. I mean, everyone's allowed mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. But God, this guy is just ridiculous. He's way more talented than he should be allowed to be. And that's, I've heard so many people say that, including Triple H live during an interview. So it's, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Tracy, you're looking forward to that too, right?
I'm just waiting for some peace and quiet.
Shit. She said she's waiting for some peace and quiet. Sorry, babe.
Well, daggone. Tell us how you really feel, Miss J-Bone.
Look who it is. Speaking of peace and quiet.
Oh my God. Okay, so Max, I know that you were on assignment. You were doing a deep dive into the people complaining about blood on WWE TV. What makes them tick, man? What did you find out?
Well, I'll tell you, I found a few people. I asked them, hey, are you a member of the IWC? They said, yes. I said, that's strike one. I said, are you complaining about blood on WWE programming? They said, yes. I said, that's strike two. And then I swung my chair. I said, that's strike three. And I busted them open. And I said, now how do you feel about the blood?
Oh, Jesus. Did you happen to get this on video? I want to see this.
No video. I don't want to be prosecuted.
We need you on more assignments, man. Oh my God.
Also, something I want to point out. Io was not at SmackDown last night because she was at Full Sail University doing an interview about Bayley, where she actually made some really good points. If you watched the interview, she was basically saying that Becky Lynch brought them together because she was lonely, not because she was their friend. She was jealous of them the entire time. And if you remember, when Io got the shot for the title, she was jealous of Io.
Yeah.
Okay. And now she's trying to get sympathy.
I couldn't remember who Bianca Belair faced. I apologize. I thought it was Io Sky.
No worries. The Io Sky part was actually kind of important to the story buildup. That's the only reason I'm saying anything. Okay. And then Becky attacked her right after that.
So with that being said, we're diving into the Mania card that we know right now, and we're talking about our favorite matches coming up. Max, I know you got to have a favorite match, and I think we're all on the same page with what match we're all looking forward to, but your personal favorite match.
I'm sorry, a high bar was set 30 years ago. And it's a bar that has been attempted to be achieved ever since. And every time they do it, I am excited to sit down and watch them attempt to raise the bar above that. And anytime you have two family members going against each other because of a story that you have built, and tell you what, going into this story, I had stopped caring about the Usos because of all their personal, real life, drunk driving issues, and the WWE found a way to make me actually care about the Usos again and get entrenched into the story leading up to this. And what happened? We didn't even see much interaction out of them since Jay left SmackDown last September until the last couple of months as they were building to brother versus brother. This has been damn well built. I'm sorry, but I hope these guys raise the bar. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Brett versus Owen will still remain the best brother versus brother match, the best Mania match of all time, but I hope they can do it because these two are damn talented.
I'll tell you what, that's a great example, Max. And I'll tell you what, man, I got a feeling you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I've been a huge fan of the Usos ever since their inception and watched them do their absolutely slow climb to where they are now. And I mean, their story has been amazing. And I'll tell you what, dude, if anybody can pull it off, I think these two can. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, which is great because they really haven't gotten close to each other.
Yeah, I mean, up until the last couple of months.
Yeah, I mean, we really haven't had a brother-brother feud on WWE TV since the Heart. You know, the Owen and.
We did have the Hardy. We've had 3 brother versus brother matches over the years. And I'm blanking on the third right now, but it was Brett and Owen, it was Matt and Jeff, and then there was a third one. And somebody out in the internet wrestling community threw out, well, what about the Dudleys? And what about this team? They're not brothers. Just because they were characters that were brothers character-wise, we're talking like blood brothers. And there have been 3 prior to the Usos. And every time I thought maybe this will be the one.
Yeah, I love where you went with that, man, and that's one of the matches of mine personally that I'm looking forward to, other than Roman and Cody and the Rock and Roman versus Seth Rollins and I'm blanking Cody Rhodes, but the matches that I'm looking. Go ahead.
I got to throw this up here.
Yep.
And this we could cover this after your point, but I just want to go around the horn and see if what's everybody's, because this is something that has not been touched for months. This is great.
Yeah.
I brought it up on the show a couple times, and I think last week when we were doing predictions, I said don't forget about Damian Priest, and I just don't see where that he fits in, you know, with this story. But it'll be really interesting if he cashes in. That could change everything. Yeah. Could you imagine if he cashed in on Cody Rhodes?
Oh, well, actually, that's what I was about to ask. I said, listen. Here's how it would make the most sense. They lose to one of the other teams in the ladder challenge. I am not putting numbers in there for a reason. Nothing's confirmed, but I'm not gonna jinx anything. But they lose their tag titles to one of those other teams. Who does he go after? Does he go after Seth? Does he go after Cody?
Well, there's even been teases of him going after Gunther, and I'm like, oh no, man, I want to see him on top. But I mean,
I don't think Senior Money in the Bank is going to go after Gunther. As much as I would enjoy that match, I don't think that's going to happen. Although, if Sammy does beat Gunther, maybe Damian does go after the Intercontinental title. Because there's blood, there's heat between those two.
Yeah, it would just be one of the most worthless cash-ins, though. You know, like it's got to be the title. I think if he fits in anywhere, it's got to be Drew and Seth because we're not really expecting that, and I think they're going to like really do the Cody and Roman, and like I think that's going to be the actual match. So I don't think there's going to be too many. You know what I'm saying? I think it would definitely happen during Drew and Seth, but it also doesn't have to happen at Mania. He still has a few months until that expires, right? You have until next Money in the Bank, June.
I was going to say night after Mania.
Is it night after Mania? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
here's the thing. I really believe we're going to have bloodline rules in Cody versus Roman. I don't think you really need to throw too much else into that match. For example, a cash-in, due to the fact that you already are going to have chaos during that match. You're going to have, and I don't just mean the bloodline side of it, because when you put the bloodline rules in, anybody can come out of the back that we've seen support Cody. It's not going to be some random. Otis is not coming out of the back to back up Cody because he's got no stake in the story. But Jay could. If Seth turns on him, Seth's not coming out to help him, or a family member could always show up and help him, as we've discussed previously. So you don't want to add another element like the Money in the Bank into that, because it's too much for a match that already has a lot going on. Drew versus Seth, feasibly, you could get the Money in the Bank either during or after the match and it not throw too much chaos into it. But at the end of the night, the WWE has this formula that we've seen for years. And as much as I hate to say this, we're probably going to open the show one night with brother versus brother and the other night with the Kabuki Warriors, and the nickname I saw somebody post online that they hope the WWE jumps on, the Fresh Princesses of Bel Air.
Oh,
you just got that, didn't you?
That took me a second. I'm like, Fresh Princesses. Okay, all right. Here's a little story about them.
It's gonna be. I mean, it's gonna be good, no matter what. I mean, Mania. This is, like I said, this is gonna be the biggest WrestleMania outside of an era with Vince McMahon in charge in the gorilla position. And
I'm gonna take it the other way. What match are you least excited about? I'm not saying that you're not excited about, but which one evokes the least emotion in you going into this that they've announced so far?
For me, it's the 6-pack ladder tag team match. I really don't care.
Okay.
I just think it's filler. So I think the rest of the card is good, just that one. And and we were just talking about this before you came in, Max. I said I really hope they open the show with the 6-pack ladder match, because just to get it out of the way, it's gonna be chaotic. It's gonna be a clusterfuck. So just get it out of the way and let that set the tone for the rest of the night.
Right, J-Bone, which one are you least looking forward to?
I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say the IC title, Gunther and Zayn.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
And the only reason why I say that is because I feel like Gunther should have lost the title a while ago. And I love Sami Zayn, and I know he's always been kind of looked at as like the underdog throughout history, depending on who he's facing, whether it be KO or whatever. But it's like, I'm like, it's.
But we're all
I feel
about.
like it's got to be someone. I feel like it's got to be someone larger than life that's going to beat Gunther, and I just can't see Zayn doing it.
The only reason Gunther has had this title for so long is because we have to beat the history books, and I don't understand that. Why can't history just be history,
But he's also he's dominant though. Like Gunther is
he is, but I'm just saying, like, why can't we just let history just rest,
Yeah. Why would you not want to beat the Honky Tonk Man off the record list?
Because it's fucking Honky Tonk Man.
Just like I want to beat Hogan off the record list too, but that's not going to happen. And why is that not going to happen? Because Cody finishes the story.
Yeah. Baron, what match are you least looking forward to at Mania 40?
I mean, I'm looking forward to them all, but I mean,
stacked card.
It's a stacked card, but I would say, I was going to say that the tag match, or not tag match, but the 6-pack ladder match. But that's going to be fun. That's going to be enjoyable to watch because it's just clusterfuck. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And honestly, just to be different between everybody else, I will say Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre.
Oh, I was going to say, because if you say one of the women's matches.
I don't. I'm not really. I'm more invested, and I think they've done this on purpose. I'm more invested in Seth Rollins' story with the Bloodline than I am with Drew McIntyre. I don't feel like there's much going on there. even with CM Punk being there, I think I think this thrown together match. And
yeah, if you would have said that you released, you didn't want to see Io Sky and Bailey, we would have had some problems. I'm just saying.
I don't want that one either. I don't want that one. No.
Courtney would have ripped you, and we would have lost our one female viewer. Damn it!
Yeah, I have like the world's biggest crush on Bailey, so I'm rooting for Bailey. You know, I know. She's
here's mine. All right, and I'm gonna follow it up with an explanation before anybody says anything. The match I'm least looking forward to is Santos Escobar and Dominic versus Ray and Dragon Lee. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not. That doesn't mean I'm not looking forward to it. I'm gonna tell you what I told my roommate before he left here last night to go to Sherwood Forest Renaissance Festival. I have not seen a WrestleMania in 10, 15 years where I could look over the card, look at all the matches on the card, and go, there is not a match on this card I don't care about. Every match on here, I'm intrigued to watch. I want to see this match. This is the first time, and I can't even tell you when the last time was, where the WWE has put out a card that on paper, at least, let's agree that on paper at least, has me going, damn, I want to see everything that you guys are putting out this year. Everything has me emotionally invested in some way. I mean, even that match that I'm the least excited for, I'm still excited for it.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you listening out there? What is your least favorite match coming up for WrestleMania 40 that you're really not particularly looking forward to? You can let us know in the comments below, and please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon too, and we'll let you know when we go live again. And by the way, if you have an upcoming birthday or if you have an upcoming Easter present that you were looking for, or maybe you have just somebody in the family who loves to collect figures, I'm telling you, Diamond Select Toys, you need to get over to that website right now and start selecting some of the best made figures in the world. These are handcrafted. They're beautiful figures, and there's a multitude of different things that you can choose from, not just AEW, but there's also, Marvel, there's Darkwing Duck, there's G.I. Joe. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Diamond Select Toy.
You and your Darkwing Duck.
I love Darkwing Duck, man. I love him. I love Darkwing Duck. And
he sounds just like him.
Make sure that you use the keyword Ramblers20 at checkout and save yourself 20% at diamondselecttoys.com. Courtney says her mom's birthday is today, so happy birthday to Courtney's mama.
Happy birthday.
Golfers clap.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Should I sing or no?
No.
Oh,
We before the show we had. I said, Dizzy, we didn't hear you sing, but we really.
Baron, let me ask you this: would you rather hear Dizzy sing or review ECW?
Hear Dizzy sing, actually, unfortunately.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Courtney's mama. Happy birthday.
I'd rather review ECW from 2008.
I'm telling you, you guys are more than welcome to do your own thing. You can count. I think the Baron and I
you
are
ain't
out.
kidding me. There is not enough green in this world that would draw me back to an ECW show. So let's end it here, boys. I'm tapped out.
What about the Sandman versus the Zombie? I think that's one of the greatest ECW matches of all time.
No.
The people that supplied Baron with his happy stuff were very excited. We were doing ECW reviews, and then all of a sudden they're like, dude, why'd you stop buying so much? He's like, we stopped doing the reviews.
Yeah, right. They were interesting to say the least. Super interesting.
I mean, we just stopped. We didn't even finish. We said, "Screw this, we're done."
I know.
We didn't even make it into the new era of ECW.
Did we stop at? I think we stopped at December to Dismember, right?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure like I was on assignment for at least 20 of those shows.
No.
Was I on everyone?
You were on pretty much everyone. You may have even missed a couple, but you were so stoned you couldn't remember that you were there.
That's true. That is very true. That is very true.
Am I live right now?
And we were entertained.
I think there was a lot of alcohol thrown in the bloodstream during those shows. And that's rough.
For Bubba, there was.
Yeah, me and Bubba, I think we're drinking pretty good.
I think Bubba
Oh my God!
I think he drank heavily during the ECW reviews.
Look, listen. My memory says that we didn't even make it 10 minutes in before Bubba was slurring.
Yeah.
Oh,
or before Bubba cussed. I can tell you from personal experience because we sat down and we watched a couple of ECWs before we did the review show. He would just what the fuck is it?
Bubba, we want you to know that we do love and miss you. And part of it's because we enjoy making fun of you, sure, but we do actually love and miss you.
Oh, we do love and miss you, Bubba. He was one of the founding fathers of this show, so he is definitely an OG. So I just love talking to him and going over these old ECW review shows because God, he hated it. He hated it, and guess whose idea it was? Mine.
which, from what I hear, is why they don't hang out as often anymore.
Yeah.
Dizzy knocks on the door. Bubba opens and goes, we're not doing ECW. Go, get out of here.
Are you here to watch ECW? No, you can come in. The last time I saw him at our class. At our class,
you tell me we gotta finish the story. We're gonna kick your ass.
I saw him before we went to our class reunion, and he opened the door and he said, "Are we gonna watch any more ECW?" I said, "No." He said, "All right, you're welcome into my home." But that's the show. That's it. We always have a lot of fun every Saturday. This is a blast. We love to do it for you. And tell your friends that we're back and we're here and we're doing this. And I am ready for WrestleMania. Now, when we do WrestleMania, we will do 2 shows for you. One will be a regular show. I believe Saturday we'll do a regular show, and then we will go down the card.
Like a regular time, like one-ish?
Like a regular one-ish time. Okay. And then we will go down the card for WrestleMania Night 1. Night 2, we'll go back on the air, and we'll just talk about WrestleMania. Not a complete review of Night 1, but some of the highlights from Night 1. And then we'll go down the card for Night 2. And then we'll be back on Saturday, the following Saturday, and talk about WrestleMania and everything else. And we are definitely looking forward to that. NXT Stand and Deliver starts at noon on there too. So it's going to be a big night for WWE and all the fans for sure. So,
if you don't mind, I'm going to probably plan on reviewing Mania Night 2 for Smash. But any of you guys are more than welcome to join me, because I don't want to wait a week. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah.
Guys, we didn't talk about the Clark Kent moment.
The Clark Kent moment.
AJ Styles is down there in the ring, and he's throwing a fit about how LA Knight should have been told to stay home and all this other stuff. And then this guy in a hoodie comes jumping out of the audience. Security grabs him. They pull the hoodie down, the mask down. It's not LA Knight. They drag him out through the timekeeper's position. And then there's a guy leaning on the announce table. He's got a big cap on, glasses. He's just standing there. And all of a sudden, he pulls the hat off, throws it behind him on the announce table, pulls the hair off, tosses that behind him, and it's L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. I love that feud. I love the fact that he showed up at his house. I love all that shit.
I missed that. I missed SmackDown, so I need to watch that.
Definitely watch SmackDown.
Yeah, I need to watch that. All right, gentlemen, I think that is going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Max, thanks for jumping on while you could, and we always love to see you. And next, I need to put you on more assignments, dude. I really do.
Well, I'm gonna have to clean the blood out of my hat from this one, but yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, social medias, everybody. We will start with the Baron.
Right here on the Twitter, the X.
You gotta say
that is
it.
I.
You gotta say it, man.
Scumbag Jordan with 3 N's.
There you go.
3 of them.
And how much would it cost a fan of yours to follow?
I mean, my prices went up. I'm no longer $9.99.
Oh,
I'm $15.99.
Yeah, inflation is a bitch.
Inflation,
man.
baby.
Inflation is a bitch.
Baron's got to get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that for the Baron and Baron and chill time?
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's
Baron and chill. Okay, that was a good one. I'm gonna write that down real quick. Get that in my phone.
Start a Patreon for the Baron to call it Baron and chill time.
Baron fans.
Baron needs the green, so he can get the green.
Max, how can we follow you, sir, on social media?
Find me on Twitter at Max Mages. Find my other podcast at Our Shots Podcast. Go to the website, random-shots.net, and listen to round 1 of Battle of the Bands.
Ooh, yeah. Who's coming up for round 2?
Well, I can tell you, Dr. T's made it a long way into the tournament. Bon Jovi, Kiss.
Nice. Random. What's the website again?
Random-shots.net.
Make sure you go to that website if you want to follow Max Mages' other podcast and Battle of the Bands, man. That's exciting. It's super exciting.
I'm putting together our next Nerd Madness, which won't come out until next March. But as the producer, I'm trying to get it planned out ahead of time. It's going to be Battle of the Network sitcoms.
Oh, that'll be good. That'll be. And Aaron, did you follow Courtney?
I sure did. I followed her.
Well, good for you.
She's so loyal. We have to follow her.
We love Courtney. We definitely.
We love Courtney. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah. J-Bone, how can they follow you, sir?
You can follow me over on Twitter box at JBone5150. That's a JAY, a BONE 51 a 50. And you can also find me over on that other little podcast called Smash This Podcast whenever I do a show about once every few millennias. And then also weekly Thursdays on Total Nonstop Impact. We go live following every TNA episode to give you everything in the world of TNA, including news, results, and reviews and such and such.
So you talk about that Jordan Grace and her nice little booty over there, don't you?
We have not talked about the latest picture that just popped up on the web today where it's Giselle Shaw, Jordan Grace, and Masha Slamovich. Dear, I'm just going to get myself in trouble. I'm going to shut up.
Ooh, man.
I'm single. Send it to me. I won't get in trouble.
I mean, you can send it to me, too. I'm single, so whatever.
There's a few OnlyFans floating around there. I know Jordan's got one. Masha apparently has one.
Baby.
Not sure about Giselle.
baby, baby. I'm waiting for Bailey to roll these bands. What? Who said that?
What?
As far as the show, you can follow us on X at The Ramblers Pod. That is The Ramblers Pod that you see right down yonder. And you can also find us on Facebook at Ramblers Unleashed. Please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, click the bell icon, and get notified when we do go live the next time. And thank you, Courtney. I appreciate that. And that is going to wrap up the show for us today. Thanks for chilling with us this evening. And we hope you have a splendid rest of your week as we continue down the road to WrestleMania. And we're looking forward to it. So, again, night one, we'll do a regular show. And we'll give you some news. And then we'll do our review or our predictions. And then night two, we will talk a little bit about some of the highlights and then give you our predictions for night number dose. So it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good time. So make sure you subscribe and you click the bell and get notified when we go live again, and tell your friends, if they are wrestling fans, to subscribe to the show. And that is
don't just tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Tell your family. Tell everybody.
Tell your even your frenemies. People have frenemies, right?
Yeah. When that cop pulls you over for speeding, tell the cop, hey, check out the Ramblers podcast.
Yeah. Say, hey, go to YouTube and type in Ramblers Unleashed while they give you the ticket. You never know, they may let you out of the ticket.
We have donuts.
We have donuts.
I'm sorry. Oh shit.
Oh, I hope the person that does, and I don't hope anybody gets pulled over, but if the person that does get pulled over and they're listening to the show and they come up to this part, the cop does not not hear that part. So we just hope. All right. That's going to wrap it up for us. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. And until next Saturday, do it all over again. Ramble on.
Ramble on.
Don't get copyright.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.